All right, guys, back to this old house site. I just feel like there's more here. And as thick as some of this underbrush is, decided to come in with a new machine. I had the Equinox 600 with the large coil, and I've got a really tiny coil for my AT Pro. My buddy Mountain Style Digger hooked me up with that. Shrew cores, little tiny coil, and it's already started working. Look at that bullet. That's what I thought when I dug it out, but that's not a bullet. What have we got? Looks like maybe a little lipstick tube of some sort, but it was a nice signal up against that tree. We got a little bit of writing trying to come through, I think. Don't know. May have to clean that one up a little bit more. If I find out anything about it, you'll know. All right, a little writing did come through. I think that thing's going to clean up just lovely. And you'll see the writing just as soon as the camera focuses. There we go. Cara Gnome. I can't figure out the bottom part. New York. Well, that'll give us a clue. There we go. All right, my digging buddy showed up and we were testing out the AT Pro. He's got a little bit of chatter, so we threw my coil on it. And he was swinging over the dirt right there, over what I thought was a dime that he had thrown down. And it wasn't. It was this awesome old marble. I was sitting there looking at it going, oh, must be a dime laid that he laid. But no, cool old marble was laying there on the surface. What do y'all think? Is that the death chatter? I don't know. Well, the small coils are doing the trick up here. Jason just got something pretty cool. Look at that. What in the world?
It's heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy. That thing is solid. Look at the old style shoe that it's wearing too. That is cool. You know what that looks like? The old Doughboy World War I uniforms, where it has like the pants up top here, and then the. Let me clean that up. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know if that's. I don't know. Clean it up and see. Yeah.
Look inside it and see.
Bet that sounded good.
It was barely sounding off, really.
Really?
On mine, though, you know how that is.
Yes.
Kind of hollow.
Huh. That is cool looking.
Toy or I'm telling.
Yeah, I mean, that's so heavy, though. Can you imagine what the rest of that thing weighed? About a 20-pound, must be a little figurine of some sort. Very cool.
Look for the rest of it.
All right. It doesn't happen too often that I am right on the first go around, so I was pretty tickled with myself when I discovered that I actually correctly identified this thing right off the bat. It is indeed the leg to a doughboy. What is a doughboy? Well, doughboy is the name given to soldiers that served during World War I over in France. But it's a leg to not just any doughboy statue. It's a leg to the doughboy statue. It turns out that when the soldiers came back from fighting in World War I, there was no national monument to honor their service. And so President Woodrow Wilson encouraged communities around America to create their own monuments to honor the service of their sons that had gone and fought and many who died. Well, an artist by the name of E.M. Vicaney, who lived in Americus, Georgia, he took up this challenge. And he created this statue that he calls the spirit of the American doughboy. Some say that this is the second most popular American statue, right behind Old Lady Liberty herself, the Statue of Liberty. And what's interesting is if you compare the two statues side by side, you see that Mr. Vacani took some inspiration from the pose. Now, the soldier in the statue, the Doughboy statue, he's carrying a rifle. He has a grenade in his uplifted hand. There's an old blown up stump, and there's some barbed wire. And what was really smart on his part was that when he created this statue, he didn't use a cast metal statue, which is extremely heavy. He created a plated model that was hollow. The whole thing only weighed about 200 pounds and was also relatively inexpensive. A city could purchase one and have it installed for about $2,000. And as a result, this statue appears in over 150 American cities. Now, a lot of these statues are now in disrepair, and also what was discovered is that there were some knockoffs. There were some people that copied it, and the statues are close to Vacani's, but not quite the same. But these statues still exist and still can be seen. Now, this little leg that I found, of course, didn't come off of a full-size statue that you'd find in a park, and that's a little bit more of the story. This statue was also one of the first mass-produced statues in American history, and it kind of sparked a whole art sort of thing going on in the homes of America, where people could have their own copy of a very famous statue. So Mr. Vacani began to create 12-inch models that would be put on a mantle or on a shelf. A lot of times these little 12-inch statuettes were given to mothers and fathers who had lost sons during the war. And then Mr. Vacani even went one step farther, and he created a model that was 12 inches tall, but in the uplifted hand, there's a light bulb and a light socket. It was actually a small table lamp, and that is the piece that I found. Now, there are some little differences in the statue over the years from 1921 when it was created to 1934, and it has to do with the placement of the right foot, and luckily enough, that's what we found, the right foot. And based off of those little changes and how the heel connects to that old blown up stump, we can tell this is probably a 1934 model because the heel isn't connected to anything. It's a cool piece of American history. I'm sure it sat on somebody's table. We don't know. These lamps were easily affordable, about $4 or $5 to buy a lamp. So anybody could have bought one, but perhaps this lamp resided in the home of somebody whose family member had served. Maybe they didn't come home. Maybe they did. But it's a great piece of American history. Cool thing to find, just laying out there in the woods. Well, we got bored of detecting and decided to come over here to this dump. And like I said, I scratched through a little bit, but Jason just kicked out that. Now, looks like it says soda water, Coca-Cola bottling, Asheville, North Carolina. It's got this stippling across the bottom. And I don't know how old that is, but I've never seen it. Which, I've not seen a lot of bottles. They don't mean anything. So I don't know if this is still 50, 60 stuff or something older. But I'll research it as best I can, see if I can figure out what it is. All right, back out here to do a little artifact hunting, and haven't really been around a whole lot for this field. Been about a month or so. Let it get some good rain on it. I figured that'd bring some stuff to the surface. So, I'm seeing a couple things already, and it's actually kind of rare for this field. That right there just caught my eye. Nice piece of engraved pottery. Look at there. That's kind of pretty. And I believe I got another piece over here. Actually, I just spotted something else that looked interesting. What's that? Excuse me. That's what's commonly called a rock. Right here might be another piece. And that too is a piece of rock. All right, one piece of pottery to start with. We'll see what else is showing. Well, there's the first arrowhead in quite a while, and I can already tell what kind it is. And just like so many others, it's broken. This is the only spot I find this type of arrowhead, and there are a lot of them that have come out of here. 95% broke off just like that. Thin concave base woodland type point. I like them though. They're interesting. I just don't see that many of them. Doing a little artifact hunting this morning, and this is that campsite that Red and I found in a video last year. Had some neat fire pits right in this area, and we did some pretty good digging, but we've smoothed a lot of the dirt back out, and now I've let it rain, so I'm just coming back and checking out some things. And so I've picked up a few little bits and bobs this morning. Little piece of flint there, and a little scraper. I think, let's see, yeah, there we go. That is so thin that I'm not sure, but it sure looks like it's been worked. So I think they were trying to get a little something out of that. But look at the flaking on this thing. Well, that'll catch your eye in a hurry. I'm not sure what kind of material that is. Huh. Yeah, I'm not at all sure what material that is. Almost kind of feels like a rhyolite, which would be the first one we found at this site. Kind of a crude dude, but it's got good flaking. Look at them big old long flakes on that thing. I'm not sure what was going on with the base, so call that one a blade. Very cool. Let me zoom back out here. Get a little bit better. There we go. Yeah, that's material we had not yet seen at this site. Kind of like it though. All right, let's see what else the rain turned up. Well, this actually caught my eye while I was filming that last arrowhead. Look at that pottery. Look at that. That is very cool right there. Lip of a bowl. That's something else that hadn't showed up at this site. We have actually found pieces of stone bowl, but no pottery. And although the flint that we find that pops up does date it to that woodland period and definitely pottery use, but just hadn't found much because it's a small camp. It's not a village. I don't think there's a whole lot of effort put into carrying pottery to places like this, so you wouldn't expect to find much, but that's the first piece that I know of. All right, I'll keep going.